Hello, my name is Morgan Fine-Morris, and I am presenting Learning Decomposition Methods with Numeric Landmarks and Numeric Preconditions. My work focuses on learning decomposition methods from plan traces for hierarchical planning in numeric domains. I will be discussing the effects of augmentations made to my existing method learning system. These augmentations allow it to learn decomposition hierarchies sensitive to the values of the numeric variables, whereas previously it could not. I will also discuss how different preprocessing techniques applied to traces can affect the quality of learned methods. The domain used in this work is a numeric crafting domain where all goals are numeric and require crafting progressively more expensive items from crafting recipes, which may rely on previously crafted items or on resources gathered with those items. The method learning system uses domain landmarks to extrapolate the decomposition structure. Similar to planning landmarks, which are condition atoms, i.e. facts, that must be present in all solutions of one problem in a domain, domain landmarks are atoms that must be present in solutions to two or more problems in a domain. We extract domain landmarks from linearized plan traces by learning a set of word embeddings, clustering them into separate regions based on their context in the plan traces, and select those conditions or facts which are near the boundaries of the clusters, bridging the separate contexts. We learn embeddings by applying the word-to-vector algorithm to linearized plan traces. We experiment with three different styles of linearization. The first, FL for full, contains the full states between each action. The second, PE for preconditions and effects, contains only the preconditions of the next action and the effects of the previous action that surround each state. And the third, RA, contained both the preconditions and effects, as well as a small randomly selected subset of the remaining atoms of the state. Additionally, we further preprocess the traces by binning the values of all numeric variables, allowing values which are similar to each other to be identified as essentially the same while maintaining any significant differences between values. Once we have a set of atoms, we use them to create a hierarchy from each training trace. For each trace, we learn a landmark method, which decomposes the top-level goal or task into a sequence of the subset of domain landmarks present in the trace. From each subcomponent of the trace, we learn a method that decomposes the landmark into a plan to achieve that landmark. In previous versions of this algorithm, we used a hierarchy that had multiple levels with more right recursion, but for these experiments, we flattened the hierarchy to keep the focus on the performance of the landmark methods. In our experiments, we learned domain landmarks from the three styles of traces. Then we use these landmarks in a custom set of landmarks to learn four separate sets of decomposition methods. We compare their performance on a set of test problems. We find that trace style does impact the learned landmarks, but it's not clear that any has consistently superior performance. Instead, each method set demonstrates strengths and weaknesses. We do find, however, that the learned landmark sets tend to be missing landmark methods for some of the final goals because we can't learn landmark methods from traces that contain no landmarks. And if none of the traces for a particular goal contain landmarks, then we can't learn landmarks for that goal. Future work will try to prevent this from happening and explore how differences in the hyperparameters of the system impact landmark selection.